Shot down by the Supreme Court, Jesse Ventura losing his appeal to reinstate a $1.8 million award in the defamation case against American sniper Chris Kyle and his family and estate. The former Minnesota governor claimed that Kyle made up a story about punching him at a bar in his autobiography, even though Kyle never mentioned Jesse Ventura by name in that book. Well, last year, a lower court threw out the grand jurors that gave Ventura in 2014. The case could return to Minnesota for a new trial.
All right, the case infuriated military families and perhaps you, as well as supporters across the country. Former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura suing the widow of fallen Navy SEAL Chris Kyle after an alleged bar fight with her late husband. A jury awarded Ventura $1.8 million from Kyle's estate, but now his wife has a plan to fight back. Larry Friedman is attorney for Taya Kyle, and he says the verdict should be appealed because Jesse Ventura did not meet his burden of proof. Larry, the benefit of taking the case now is to see the mistakes the defense made. Do you see some holes in the case you'd like to talk about?
Yes, there are many holes in the case. Look, Jesse Ventura didn't meet his burden of proof, and the proof of that pudding is the fact that the jury couldn't reach a verdict. He didn't meet his burden of proof. The jury couldn't meet a unanimous verdict.
So listen, you just explained to me for us civilians who aren't lawyers that, this is supposed to be a unanimous verdict. They went up to the lawyers and said, can we make it 9-1? And for some reason, the defense agreed. When they couldn't come up with a verdict at 9-1, they said, what about 8-2? They finally came to a verdict on 8-2 and ruled in favor of Jesse Ventura. Why would any defense attorney do that?
Well, I don't have an explanation for that, but what happened was Jesse Ventura was given 3 bites at the apple, and that's not fair. It's not right, and it shouldn't have happened that way. If he couldn't make his burden of proof the first time, case over.
Well, let me ask something. From a humanistic standpoint, are you stunned that a fellow Navy SEAL would sue the widow of another Navy SEAL over something that a lot of people said happened and he said didn't after Chris Kyle's death?
Well, it's one thing to take on another Navy SEAL man to man. It's another thing to sue a Navy SEAL's wife after that Navy SEAL was murdered.
Right. So what's next?
Well, what's next is we filed a motion for judgment on the insufficiency of the evidence, and in the alternative, a motion for new trial. And what that does is it gives the trial court an opportunity to look back, like Monday morning quarterback, and see some of the errors that occurred during the trial. Look, errors occur in every trial. Most of the time, they're harmless errors. But in some cases, like in this case, there are some errors that would have made a difference. And we feel like bringing those matters back to the trial court's attention, we should get some relief.
Well, I'd just love to see some of the eyewitnesses be allowed to testify, because I've talked to people who said they were there, and it absolutely happened. Larry Friedman, thanks so much, and good luck to you and Taya Kyle.
Thanks for having me.